Welcome, everyone. My name is Craig Boyte. I am the EVP of Marketing here at New Frontier Data. What we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a very, very brief rundown of kind of who New Frontier Data is. Then we'll give the demo, which is the reason why we're all here. And then at the end, I'll come back and I'll show you some contact information if you would like any personalized questions answered or a one-on-one demo or anything else you may need from us. So first of all, about New Frontier Data. We do consider ourselves basically the Bloomberg of cannabis. We are a business intelligence company specializing in the cannabis industry, obviously. And we really do collect and analyze millions of data points constantly. And those come from, I'll show you some of the areas where they come from, but they can come all the way from a government down to local dispensary and everything in between. And of course, we are also a technology company, which is why we're all here. And so I will show you Equio. And lastly, we do also partner with a lot of people. So we do a lot of custom work. I'll show you some of that. And it could be anything from a government itself, like we just did a big project for the government of Zimbabwe, down to, again, a local company that wants to know, say, the competition in a certain city. So this is how we look at the cannabis industry as a whole. We start at the top level, which is federal governments. And actually, we do look at it even above that and regional. So we have reports on, say, North America and Asia and Africa. And, so we start at the macro level. We also get data and look at data from local and state governments, as well as the industry itself, obviously. So that's, farmers, producers, retailers. We have point of sale partners, and then ancillary businesses, which we ourselves are one. So that's businesses that are in the cannabis industry, but don't touch the plant itself. So that can be anything from companies like ourselves to, say, a pipe manufacturer. So they create pipes, but they don't ever actually touch the plant. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, is the actual consumers of cannabis and or CBD. We get information about them from, we do a lot of surveys, large surveys. We also, like I mentioned, we have partnerships with a number of point of sale companies that gives us actual transaction data, as well as we have a number of partners with some online retailers and delivery services. So we can get things like cart information or what types of products in a certain region might be selling. So how we as New Frontier Data support the industry? Well, we do a lot of custom research. This is what I mentioned about partnerships. Like I said, we did just finish a big project for the government of Zimbabwe. They wanted to know what would happen to their economy if they legalized. So as you can imagine, that was quite a big undertaking. And it can be all the way down, like I said, to somebody who wants to know what are the products selling in my city, what are the price points I should be setting my products at, and everything in between. Then reports. So reports are how we started as a company, and that can be, and we still put out reports all the time. We just had a report come out a couple of days, well, actually last week, on CBD use in North America. And those reports can really be by a region, like I said, it can be like a whole, like Europe, or it can be by state. It can also be by topic. Like I mentioned, we just put out one on CBD in North America. We also have reports on energy consumption for cannabis cultivation, and then consumers. So every different type of topic that you can imagine. And within Equio actually is where our reports live, and I'll show those to you in a minute. And then, of course, Equio, which is why we're here. And so let's not waste any more time, and let's just jump right into it. So this is the Equio dashboard. Right when you log in, this is what you will see. Up here is an alert. So from the last time that you logged in, if anything changed or was updated, you will see an alert right here. So as you can see, some new Canaclips. And Canaclips are little short 1-minute videos that we make about all of our reports. So new ones were added since I logged in last. And then once you've seen that, you just hit close this report and it'll close it. I will warn you, my internet's been quite clunky and slow today, so things will be not quite as zippy as they normally would. I don't know what's going on in Denver, but my internet the last couple of days have been kind of sketchy. Someone suggested it's because all the protesters are out there trying to live stream all the time, which is taking up bandwidth, which certainly could be the case. All right, so here is your dashboard. If you start at the top, this is exactly what it looks like. It's a stock ticker. These are all cannabis stocks. You can click on any one of them and a pop-up will happen that will show you the history of that stock from what happened today to what happened to the last 5 days, 3 months, and entire history on that stock. And actually, this is the same information, just displayed a little differently. So this is the full cannabis, all the legal or the legal cannabis companies that you can buy stocks from, they're all here. You can either search by company, so they're all listed here, whichever one you would like. Again, it shows you today, 5 days, the last 3 months, and the history. This is the entire index of the entire, all of the companies. But again, you can pick a specific company if you would like. You can also look at individual sectors within the cannabis industry. So as you can see, we have them sectioned out: ancillary services, cultivation, tech, pharma, hemp, CBD, and Canada. We also have a section for leaders and laggers within the industry, and also stock news. And this is any news that's happened. It goes up, this is a live feed. So it's any news that on any company that's featured within all these companies. Oh, I also forgot to mention, if you click on any of the individual companies, it will also show you any news that happened about that particular company. So not only do you get, like I said, the today, 5 days, 3 months, and history of the stock performance, but any company news. Now, in this case, there wasn't any, but it also shows you the news that's happened within that sector. So this is very handy. Obviously, if you're invested or looking to invest in cannabis, this is a very handy way to do so. And yeah, that's the stock index widget. Now moving over, we have a US product sales index widget. And this is pretty much what it sounds like. This is sales, and we've got them broken out by flower, edibles, extracts, tinctures, topicals, pre-rolls, and vapes. This is, and it's by percentage. So what in the US, what is the percentage for each of these? Well, of course, I'm pointing to the screen and you guys can't see me point. For each of these areas, what the percentage of sales is. Now this is, again, like I said, the entire US. You can also go down into individual states, and then it will show you what the breakdown is by state for all of these areas. Yeah, so here's California. One interesting thing, at least to me, is in California, the flower has really taken off since COVID, which is not what I would have expected. I would have expected flower to actually drop. Vape has been dropping quite a bit, but in my mind, I would have guessed edibles would have gone up since, the whole lungs, COVID attacks the lungs. But what do I know? I'm the marketing guy. I'm not a data scientist. All right, so moving down, we have hemp highlights. This is because we have so much interest in hemp. A lot of people, we do a lot of surveys, both to people who are our users and people who are thinking about using. And one of the areas that we found that people are very interested in is hemp. So we created a widget, and these are just things that we've highlighted of our own data and our own research that people who are interested in hemp might find interesting. So there's usually facts in here. There's some charts in here. They're taken from either Cannabis, which is one of our newsletters, I'll show you in a second, or we do a lot of hemp reports. So that's where most of these come from. Okay, moving over, we have the interactive data map. And this is actually a pretty deep widget. There's a lot here. There's a lot of layers here. The top layer is new because it's COVID-19. So this really shows what states have identified cannabis as an essential business. So that means that dispensaries are still open. And it goes through both medical and recreational. So this is basically the states that have stay-at-home orders, which states still have open dispensaries. Then if you go down, legalized states, that's exactly what it sounds like. It basically talks about what what's legal, how big is the market, how long have they been legal, and if they're legal for just medical or for recreational. Then qualifying conditions, that's obviously only for medical, and this really is by state. It shows you what the qualifying conditions are to get a medical license, or a card, I should say. Cannibalization, this is a relatively new widget for us. It used to be at the higher subscription levels. Now it's open to all subscription levels. This is exactly what it sounds like, for alcohol, tobacco, and pharma. And it really is, what is the cannibalization that cannabis has had on these various industries. So has tobacco been affected by cannabis? Has pharma been affected by cannabis? Moving down, we have job opportunities. Like I said, there's a lot in here, and we only have about 17 more minutes, so I'm going to try to go fast, and I'll try to leave some time at the end for questions. Otherwise, like I said, I will have contact information if you want individual questions answered. You certainly can get them there. Job opportunities is exactly what it sounds like. We actually have this displayed in 2 spots here in the map, and then also down here. There's an individual widget for jobs. You can look by state. You can also look by role. So if you want to be a bud tender, even if you want to be a social media specialist, that's usually for like a dispensary, drivers. I mean, it's just every single job that you can imagine within the cannabis industry by state, all listed here. Now, tax rates. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is tax rates not only by state, but you can also click into a state and get down to county and even city levels. So it shows you all the different tax rates by the city, what it is for medical and adult use. And then last but not least is US investment opportunity ranking. This is something that we put together, New Frontier Data, and it just shows you by state what areas might be good to look at if you're looking to invest. So like, is manufacturing, so in this state, which is Oregon, it looks like manufacturing and distribution would be better areas to look than retail or ancillary services. And again, it just goes by state. Okay, moving down, we have the Cannabis Insight Daily. This is our daily newsletter. It goes out Monday through Friday. If you are not a subscriber, I would recommend being a subscriber if you're interested in cannabis news. Basically what it is the top 5 stories of the day. We comb the internet. We find the top 5 stories that we feel are most important to the cannabis industry. We send them out in a newsletter, but this is also a place to find the entire archives. So it goes back years. If you want to know what the top 5 news stories in cannabis were on October 14th in 2018, you can find them right here. Here's tax notices. Now this is different than the tax rates. Up here in the map was the tax rates. This is tax notices, which sounds like they might be the same, but they're actually not the same thing. So this is a notice on anything that has happened or might happen or could happen in the future. This is a notification that, so like the city council here is submitting a ballot to adopt new regulations. So obviously if you are in a city or a county or a state and you want to stay up on any tax changes that may happen, this is a fantastic widget for you. So this will keep you informed on everything, and it's very up to date. It's in real time. So that's a great widget if you're in the industry itself. All right, moving down, these two, I should say, market projections and patient saturation. This is using New Frontier Data information. So it looks at historical market projections and then future, what we predict the market will be in the future. And patient saturation is exactly what it sounds like. It's the number of patients in any given state. You can filter by state. You can have multiple states. And again, it's through real time, through now, and then our projections in the future. And then finally, there's regional profiles. So these are different countries. And it's really our take on the country, what the history is, what is happening in that country, what the legalized state of cannabis is in that particular country or region. So as you can see, there's some regional ones like Asia, Oceania, Latin America, and then individual countries as well. All right, so that's your home page, but there's still a lot more to go. If we go over here, we have reports and charts. This is one of the biggest reasons why people subscribe to Equio is you get access to all of the New Frontier data reports. Yeah, see, I told you our internet is being slow. And it really is all of them. So you can find pretty much, actually every report we've ever done is in here. And they all are available. They're included in your subscription. Now, historically, we have had some that were only available for purchase, but we have not done one. We have not made a report like that in over a year. I mean, I won't say that we won't ever do that again, but at least for now, they're all in here and they're all included with your subscription. So these are all your reports. You can click on any one of them. You can view it as a PDF. You know, it's exactly what you would think it would be. Interactive reports are the same reports, but just looking at them a little differently. So as you could see, there are literally hundreds of reports in there. It can be a little overwhelming. This is a way to take them in a little faster and easier way. So there's usually a 1-minute video that kind of is an overview of the report. There's a summary right here. You can download the full executive summary. There's also key findings. So this is just basically a way to look at a report in a much shorter and succinct way than going through the entire, 20 to 200 page report. And there's also charts, all the charts in the library. Now, I will say for charts, since we're looking at charts, I'll go over to the charts library. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's all of our charts. So every chart that we've ever had in every single report. So that means that there's thousands and thousands of reports in here. Or I mean of charts in here. To make it a little easier for you, you can also search. So you can search by keyword. You can search from an individual report. So for example, if you just want to have the charts in the European CBD consumer report series, you can click on that one. It will pull up all the charts just for that report. I will also note that the search bar at the top is something that you can use, and it's actually a very robust search feature. If you search for, say, hemp, it will pull up every single instance, whether it's a chart, whether it's a video, whether it's a blog post even that has to do with hemp, or if you want to get more specific, say you want to know, have you ever done anything on hemp in Kentucky? You could search for that. If we have, it will come up, it will pull up any charts, again, any reports, any videos, and all of the above. So it's a very robust search feature that we have up here. Now these charts, they are included in your base subscription level, but you do not get full license to use them unless you have a higher subscription level. But you can certainly look at all of them. I obviously have a higher level of subscription, so I can download them and use them anywhere I want. But even if you just have the base level, you can certainly look through any of the charts that we have. The data marketplace. Now this is a new feature that we have, and this is the data that is behind the reports that we do. So obviously, if we're putting out a report, we need data to go to kind of fuel that report. And in the report itself, there's obviously all the analytics and interpretation, and also put into nice charts and all that. But if you are really just interested in the data itself, the raw data, you can get them here, and you can download them as CSV or a Excel spreadsheet or whatever you would like. You can purchase any specific data set you would like. There's a lot, obviously there's a lot of data in here because we've done a lot of reports. You can also search. You can do it by region if you're only interested in US data, or even a specific state if you only want Alaska data. You can also do it by segment, so adult use, medical, or hemp. Time period, so if you're looking for a specific year or projections into the future. You can also search by individual reports. So if you want to know, if you want to have access to the data behind the Canadian or the Canada cannabis report, you certainly can do that. Now, something that is coming, this is all, you can buy all the individual data sets right now. You can do that today if you would like. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce, but in the near future, higher levels of subscriptions will have access to this. So that's something to keep in mind. You can also actually switch your level of subscription within your own My Account. So you can jump up to a higher level, you can get to a lower level. It's up to you. Now, continuing along the left-hand navigation, we have investing, researching, and operating. These are basically the same widgets that we saw on the home dashboard, just shown in a little different way or grouped in a little different way, because in this case, these are all the widgets we would think, or we feel that an investor might be interested in. So they're all shown here. Same with researching. If you're a researcher, these are the widgets that a researcher might be interested in. And obviously it's the same for operator. Excuse me. Now there are a few different widgets in here that we did not see on the homepage. One of them like being the Canabyte. The Canabyte is our weekly newsletter that goes out every Monday. And that is a bit of proprietary data that we present to the public. There's always a chart with it. There's always a blog with some analysis. This has our full archives going back all the way to, I think our first one came out in February of 2016. So 5 years worth of archives there. Also, all of the presentations. So as you can imagine, we do a lot of presentations. Obviously, there aren't as many conferences going on in 2020 as there has been in past years. This was a big part of our business, was doing conferences and keynote speeches. All of our presentations are in here. Now what we've switched to is doing a lot of webinars, since conferences basically are not a thing anymore. So those presentations are also included, as are the actual webinars themselves. So you can listen to our entire archives of webinars. We've done more in 2020 than we have probably the previous 3 years combined. And starting later this month, actually starting at the end of June, we are going to start doing a webinar just about every single week. So webinars are going to become a bigger and bigger part of what we do and how we get our information out. Canna clips, these are what I mentioned earlier. These are like the short, usually 1 minute video about a report. It's a nice way to just take a look and see if it's something you're interested in. If it is, then maybe go and look at the whole entire report itself. Operating, again, it's the same thing as the other two. It's just organized a little different. If you're an operator, these are the widgets we feel that you might be interested in. And then the Canabyte. So this is a new feature. This is something that we just launched in, I want to say late February. This is, you can actually get a subscription to the Canabyte by itself, which is cheaper than a subscription to Equio, but with an Equio subscription, you also get a Canabyte subscription. And basically what it is access to all our presentations, all our webinars, all our videos, as well as our entire library of articles that we've written. So we're talking thousands of articles, as well as all the Cannabis graphics. So this is something, if you're looking to just maybe dabble or see if you're interested in the kind of information that New Frontier Data puts out, the Canabyte might be a good place to start. It's only $9 a month, whereas Equio itself is $49 a month. Obviously, you get a lot more with Equio, including all the reports. But you know, if you want to start with Canabyte for $9, take a look, see if it's something you're interested in, and then you're like, you know, I really want to get access and see all those reports, you can always bump up your subscription to Equio. So this is a new feature of ours. Like I said, we just launched that in February, and it's actually been quite popular. We also have a podcast actually that we just started a few weeks ago. That is also accessible within the Canabyte. Of course, you can also get that wherever you can get your podcast. It's free, so you can get it on Apple or Google or wherever, Spotify, wherever you get your normal podcast, that's available there too. Okay, we only have 4 minutes left. So I'm going to put up some contact information, and let me see if there is any questions. Okay, there's no questions, so that's good. So I don't have to worry about not getting to anybody's question. Now, if you do have one, feel free to type it in the Q&A. I just have a couple minutes left, so I certainly can answer them if I have time. Otherwise, Spencer will be happy to answer any questions that you may have, or if you would like a one-on-one demo, he can certainly do that as well. you want to see a certain widget or a certain area, you want to get a little more information about it or get a deeper understanding about it, certainly he'll be happy to give you a one-on-one demo. Otherwise, I really appreciate you all tuning in. I do this demonstration every first Thursday of the month. So the next one will be actually right before 4th of July, I guess. It'd be on the July 2nd. So feel free to tune into that one. Otherwise, reach out to Spencer if you have any questions that you would like individually answered, or if you would like that one-on-one demonstration. Again, I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh, I did get one question. Do we have any specific information for world hemp industry? Yes, we do actually. We have quite a bit. So we've done a number of reports on the hemp industry in different regions of the world. So Africa, Asia, and we just put out one, actually two. We just put out two on CBD and hemp use in Europe. So yes, there is a lot of, whether it be a specific report, that we definitely have those. We also have a number of our articles that we've written about different areas of the world in the hemp industry. Like I said, hemp is becoming a bigger and bigger area for us. A lot of people are interested in hemp. I will let you in on a little secret. A lot of the webinars that we're going to be doing over the summer are hemp related. The first one, there's going to be a series of 3 in a row, probably in 3 consecutive weeks. That's what's going to start our webinar series coming up in later June. So be sure to subscribe to our newsletters. We'll be sending out alerts of when and where you can sign up for those webinars if that's something you're interested in. And actually, we just did a few webinars on both hemp and CBD use. Like I said, it's kind of the hot thing now that, well, hemp is legal throughout the US, and then CBD use is growing throughout the world. So it is something of a lot of people are interested in. And so we definitely pay attention to what people want to know more about, and we try to focus in those areas. So yes, that was a very long way of saying yes. And we're about out of time. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next month.